the shit they don't tell you. Midlife crisis. Is it real?
Yeah, 100%, mate. In the UK, we live to work. Simple as that, you know? You live because you have to pay your bills.
Should we be prioritising ourselves more?
So one thing I always used to say to people is, if you don't love yourself, how's anyone ever going to love you? If you're a miserable bastard to be around, they're not going to want to be around you anyway. And I never thought midlife crisis was a thing, but genuinely I feel like I'm getting there.
The Untold Podcast is proudly sponsored by Aura Surfaces, specialists in luxury surfaces for extraordinary spaces. Like creating dream homes, building a dream life takes work. That's why we had to get behind this podcast. Real stories, real challenges, and real success. Let's get into it.
Hello and welcome to the Untold Podcast. Today, I'm here with Chris.
Hello, everybody. It's just us two, isn't it?
Because Des couldn't make it. What's Des up to?
Well, he's got an excuse, but I feel like he just can't be asked.
Yeah,
What do you reckon?
Well, I reckon that he's sold a shed load of tickets to an event in Manchester.
Has he got an event on?
Yeah, he's got an event on.
Has he?
30th of May, the
You'd
Des
never know.
Hamilton Roadshow.
Oh.
But I reckon he's sold a shitload of tickets and he don't have a venue yet. So I think he's driven up to Manchester to try and knock on people's doors and says, can you host my Hamilton Roadshow?
To be fair, I did hear him eating during a voice note in the car, so you could be right there,
Possibly.
mate. You
But
could
he's
well
always
be
eating
right.
in a voice note, isn't
Well,
he?
this is it, yeah. He's always in his car, to be fair.
He's always eating in a voice note.
Bless him.
So I reckon we've been to the pub, we've had a pint, which has loosened us up. Lucy. I thought we'd just chat shit about things in life.
Go for it.
So
While I swig my
the
drink.
shit they never told us when we were growing up. So how bad mornings hit after you hit to 35.
Fucking hell.
Hangovers lasting, I mean, I don't know about you, but this says 3 days, but mine are probably closer to 2 weeks. You ever
Yeah,
had
it
it?
depends how hard you hit it, mate, doesn't it, to be fair, at the end of the day. I've had hangovers for 2 weeks, easy.
You go out and have a drink. I'm never drinking again. I'm never drinking again. And you wake up the next morning and you're like, I'm still not drinking again.
It's usually the afternoon, someone goes, do you want a beer, mate?
It'll help.
Yeah,
Does
go
it
on,
help?
man. No, it does. Of course it don't.
I remember we used to go to a friend's house, and as lads, like 18-year-olds, he used to love us having us round. Sadly, he passed away, but we used to go there and we used to get absolutely spangled on the Saturday night, and then on the Sunday we play cards, and he'd love to see us all suffering tequila shots on a Sunday afternoon while he's there on a barbecue cooking shrimps and stuff. But that hangover, I wish I could go back to the days where the hangover literally lasted a couple of hours in the morning.
Yeah, I think I only had a proper hangover in my 20s probably twice, and that was because I drank like a whole bottle of Jack Daniels over like in about 3 hours, or it was a litre bottle of vodka in about 20 minutes for a bet. But yeah, mate, honestly, like, how old are you?
I don't know, 37, I think.
Yeah, I'm 42, mate. If you're getting hangovers like that now, you're fucked.
Oh, for fuck's
Because
sake. I don't want that to come.
I've had a pint at the pub and we got a beer here. I'll probably have hangover in the morning.
I'll have a hangover in 20 minutes halfway through the episode. Yeah. Oh, God.
But who cares? I'm going to have another swig of my drink.
What's and I was going to save this for another episode, but what's your first memory of drinking?
Dave Garrett's house, probably 1996, something like that. That was that bottle of Jack Daniels, but I was about 13, I think. Mum and Dad had just split up. Thankfully, Dave Garrett's mum was an absolute legend. I got so paralytic on New Year's Eve that I spent 3 days in his bed throwing up all over his bedroom, and his mum told my mum that I was just having lots of fun.
Jesus. I remember, you know, your parents, they used to do the thing and they used to be like, oh, you're going to that party, we'll go and get you a couple of drinks. Parents come back before WKD Blues. WKD Blues.
Yes, mate.
I don't know, I reckon I was 14. And I was like...
That's it. It's around 14, isn't it? It's got like 14, 15 years of age. That's when you go for it.
And I was like, no, that's not enough. So I had this drink, it's like a bureau thing in the corner of the room, like all that maple and stuff. I opened it up, there's a litre and a half of Pimm's in there. I was like, I'll fucking take that. So I took that and my WKD Blues. Now, to this day, I'm 37. To this day, the families whose house it was still calls me Pimm's boy.
Nice.
I went there,
I've heard the worst things to be called, to be fair.
had me thing. It's amazing how that sticks, though. But
why pick? You could have picked something decent, mate.
I don't fucking know.
It's like 10% or something, isn't it? You could have gone for the 40. Do you know what I mean? You've got to go for it.
After you drink a litre of it, mate.
Jesus Christ. No wonder you're real. It's supposed to be with lemonade. And
the thing is, as well, is I fancied the pants off of this girl whose house it was. And I was like, I'm in with the cool kids. No, not the mum. I'm in with the cool kids. I've been invited to this party. And I remember there was like a DJ playing DJ Pied Piper. Do you really? Is it wicked, that one?
Yeah, it's my era, mate.
And I remember that. And yeah, I was like, I've been invited to the cool kids party, like fucking, and I absolutely fucking ruined it. And I was still called Pims Boy by the girl and her family to this fucking day, those years later.
Pims Boy. I'm going to start calling you that from now. I'm going to change it. I'm actually going to do it while we're sitting here. I'm going to change your name on my phone to Pims Boy. And then when I go to text you in a couple of weeks' time, I will have no idea where your phone number's gone because I won't remember that.
Oh dear. Look a bit deeper. Shit they never told you. Balancing fucking life and family. Obviously, you've got a kid, you've got a wife. Balancing life and family. That's like, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. Like, we've just been to the pub for a pint. Do you feel guilty?
No.
Do you feel guilty doing that?
No, not at all, because I work my fucking nuts off.
And I think that's a big thing as well. I do it. I've got my motorbike. So that's like, I'll say to the missus, I'm going out on the motorbike tomorrow morning. Or I've just started playing golf. I'm absolutely terrible at it. But when it's going good, I quite enjoy it. And my reasoning with myself is, it's at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning we play. I get 5, 6, 7,000 steps in. I'm out in the sun, I'm getting fresh air. That's my reasoning with myself to be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, before we go any further, I'd just like to say, obviously I've known you for about 3 months now. You know I play golf, so where the fuck's my invite at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning?
All right. Well, you did play golf. You said you
retired.
Well,
no, I gave it up because I'm working hard. But, 8 o'clock on a Sunday mornings, actually, to be fair, I am live on TikTok at 8
What are you doing this Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be live.
Here we go.
I'll be live, yeah, I'll be live early morning. Yeah, fair point. I'll take that one back. There you go. I don't feel guilty because at the end of the day, my missus works as well. My missus does work hard, but it's like we're all about mental health here, right? So let's just unpack that a little bit. For me, I overthink everything, and I'm struggling all the time to just comprehend on what is going on in my life and how I'm dealing with this and dealing with that. So if I have a beer, that half hour that we spent at the pub is my wind down time. I don't get a wind down time otherwise because I go home from work, as I said in the previous podcast. My little boy's all over me, which I absolutely love, wouldn't change for the world, but you don't get that unwind time. And yeah, my missus probably doesn't get it as well, but she does do things without realising she's doing things that she should be unwinding with, So I think it's important to know that you can have a little bit of time to yourself. You shouldn't feel guilty for doing things like having a beer with your mate or going for a walk and not taking your family or just doing something for yourself. Everybody should do something for themselves.
Everyone should.
Because if you're not happy in your own self, no one else is going to be happy around you.
You're shit to everyone else, aren't you? Yeah. If you're not happy to your own self. I think there's a point where it gets to you're being selfish, but you've got to have that time. You've got to have it. Like when I'm out on the motorbike on a Sunday morning, going to the cafe on the beach with a couple of mates, I'm normally back by 10, 11, sometimes 4 in the afternoon, depends how the ride goes. But I'm so lucky that I've got a wife that understands that.
I feel like you're gunning for me.
No, I'm not.
You're talking about golf and then you're talking about motorbikes.
Well, you haven't got
I've given up on the golf and I've sold my motorbike 15 years ago and I'm not allowed to get another motorbike because my missus won't let me.
Yeah, but that's a conversation for another day. We'll get my missus and your missus together. She likes me on the motorbike. She says you look sexy in leathers. It's the only thing you look sexy in.
I'm sure she wouldn't mind me walking around the house in leathers, but it's actually getting on the bike that she's not too keen on.
And I love it when my wife goes out.
I do.
I love it when she goes out and lets her hair down. She doesn't do it enough. And I think she feels more guilty than I do. And she has this guilt of, oh yeah, but I can't go out. Just go out and enjoy your time with your friends because, not being horrible, but you're so much nicer and better to be around after you've let your hair down. Yeah.
My missus is the same, She says, oh, you're my world and I don't want to be away from you and stuff like that. But you need that little break, because it makes you feel fonder. If you go out and you're not with someone for 4 or 5 hours, you get home and you're like, oh, how was your evening? Or what did you do? And, you know, it makes more conversation. You feel better in yourself, and it is important to do. Like you, I love it when my missus goes out with her mates. She just chooses not to go out that much.
Yeah, mine does as well, and I don't know what it is. She's got a lovely group of mates, and like, go out, go. Obviously, not every other day, but go out and enjoy it. I think you've got to do it. Sort of like I say to my mates, like, we should do stuff. You probably do it. You go out with your mates, and you'll go on a stag do, and you all get together once every year, once every 6 months, maybe if you're lucky. And every time you end the weekend, you end the day, and you're like, we should do this more often. You never fucking do it.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, funny enough, the text messages went out a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's just life, innit? We just get so caught up in. Thing is, everybody gets in the rat race, don't they? Get up in the morning. You have to go to work. You have to earn a living. You have to pay your bills. You get home from work. You're knackered. In the UK, we live to work.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know, you live because you have to pay your bills.
How do you change the narrative, though? Do you know what I mean? Should we be prioritising ourselves more? Yeah. Selfishly, should 100%. We be prioritising ourselves more?
It's difficult to talk about this situation because everybody's different, but we live in a very materialistic life, don't we? In a world where everybody is materialistic. You want everything that's nice. You want the nice house. You want the nice garden. You want the nice cars. Depends on what actually you want out of life. If you want to be happy, don't strive for all that. Yeah. Because that won't make you happy. It just causes you more stress.
Time, innit? It's just finding time. We managed to find time for the things that don't fill us with joy. Yeah. We managed to find time for work, to do that quote, to go out and please that customer. But we put ourselves back. We put ourselves on a back burner, where I feel that we all should put ourselves at the front. Because if you're not happy, then So
the one thing I always used to say to people is, if you don't love yourself, how's anyone ever going to love you? Yeah. And I think that's really important to mention, because if you just live your life for everybody else all of the time, it makes you unhappy. Yeah. And if you're unhappy, you're actually doing the complete opposite to what you're trying to achieve by making everyone else happy around you, your family, your kids, your wife, your friends and everything. If you're a miserable bastard to be around, they're not going to want to be around you anyway.
No, that's it. It's so difficult. I reckon that anybody listening, look back at it. Can you make more time for yourself without fucking up everything? I bet you can. Yeah. I bet if you look back at it, you can. I bet you can make...
Well, ask me in 3 months' time and I'll tell you.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Because I've just done it, haven't I?
That's it. You've made fucking 24/7 for yourself, mate.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
You've made 24/7 for yourself. Yeah. But hats off to you for doing it. Do you know what I mean? I bet it wasn't easy.
Oh, mate, it's been one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life. So, obviously, I wasn't here last week. And hopefully everyone's really worried that I wasn't going to come back because of the conversation we had in the car. But I've actually made the decision. I've done it now. I've told the client, I've told the guys that work for me that you're not working for me anymore. I'm going to fold the business in 2.5 weeks' time, about 2.5 weeks' time, when I finish the job I'm on, and I'm going balls deep in TikTok and putting as much effort into the podcast as I possibly can now. And the more I think about it, the more I've changed already, mate. Yeah. I feel like I've got a different aura about me already. Yeah. What a good plug that is.
Well, yeah. Different needs aura, isn't it?
Aura. A nice little plug there is.
I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing that shirt today.
But no, honestly, I do. I said it to you earlier on in the pub, didn't I? I went home last night from work, and the first thing I did, I walked into the kitchen and slapped my missus' ass. And I always used to do that because I was happy. Yeah. And I felt yesterday, she went, "What's going on? Like what's going on? You saying about you?" And I went, "I don't know. Maybe I feel like I've just got this massive weight taken off my shoulders. I can spend more time at home with my family. Yes, I'm going to be working, but I'm going to be able to take my boy to nursery in the morning. I'm going to be able to pick him up in the afternoon. I'm going to be able to go and have a round of golf if I want to go and have a round of golf, as long as I can get my videos done or do some bits on a podcast or whatever, like just giving myself that freedom back where I can actually achieve being happy as well as hopefully achieving where I want to be financially."
Well, that's it, isn't it? But you got to weigh up. I mean, we've spoke about it before, like financially free. I'd much rather do something that just about
you ain't never going to be financial free. I don't give a shit who you are.
Bullshit, because you live within your means. Yeah. If you're earning 10 grand a month, you'll spend it. If you're earning 1,000 a month, you'll spend it. And you'll be in the same situation. But I would much rather do something that pays me enough for a good life that I enjoy every day than something that pays me 10 times what I need. And I fucking hate waking up every morning.
100%, mate, 100%.
And I think there's a lot of people that chase the money too much.
Problem is, most of those people are really young as well, because all they just get taught is that money is the ends, the means to everything. And you do, especially like I'd hate to be 20 odd now. Fuck me, like my boys, I dread being them right now because all they see is materialistic stuff. Instagram, TikTok, everywhere you look, everyone's got millions of pounds, even though they haven't.
Yeah,
you know, and you're just taught to think like that all the time. And then, like when you get to our age, or my age, I feel like I'm in a kind of a midlife crisis at the moment. I'm at that point where I want to buy a motorbike or buy a stupid car or do something crazy because I feel like, actually, hang on, I'm about to step over that little point in life where I'm nearer to, this is horrible to say, but nearer to the end than I am to the start, you know? And I never thought midlife crisis was a thing, but genuinely I feel like I'm getting there. But then, like, 20-year-olds, just, if there is anyone that's 20 that's listening, it ain't all about the money.
No.
Yeah, you got to earn money to pay your bills and have a nice gaff if you want a nice house or whatever, but at the end of the day, you don't need all that materialistic shit.
No.
Because that's all it is.
Yeah.
You're all on finance. You're all strapped up to the bollocks with your credit limits and your credit cards and all that sort of stuff. So actually, you're just putting more pressure on yourself by getting all that stuff anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if any 20-year-olds listening, learn about investing, learning about assets over liabilities. It's all good and well driving a £250,000 Lambo, but it could all come crashing down. Like we've said before, if you're doing TikTok shop and you're doing really, really well, and you think, oh, do you know what, I can afford to go out and finance a Lambo and to finance their £5,000 a month, mate, tomorrow someone could, Keir Starmer, because he's a bellend, could do something.
Put an 80% tax on Lamborghinis.
Put an 80% tax on Lamborghini, or you could shut down TikTok.
Yeah.
I think it's important for kids, and this is the other thing. This is the shit they don't tell you in school. Learn to make a bit of money, and then let that money work for you. Let that money make you more money, and when that money's making you enough money for you to buy that Lambo or finance that Lambo and not have to worry about.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that actually, because one thing I would love to do is if I ever could afford it, I'd be buying a Lamborghini. Because I had the picture on the wall when I was a kid. You know, it was the Lamborghini Countach and a fucking horrible looking thing now. If you actually look at the picture of them now, they were disgusting. But, you know, if you can afford it, like you're saying, you're not strapping yourself up, go and get one.
Yeah.
Go and get that fucking great big house that everyone's jealous that you've got, and go and live the lifestyle that you've worked fucking hard to get. But, I mean, I know people in their 20s that have got 15, 20 grand's worth of credit card debt, and Jesus Christ, if you're in that much debt in your 20s, you're fucked.
Yeah, and that's it, because it's not going away.
No, you ain't going to be able to pay that credit off. So all you're going to keep doing is just topping it up and topping it up and topping it up.
You're paying that every month, and all you're probably doing is paying the interest.
Yeah,
and that's how that's the thing. That's how they want to.
Well, it's like a mortgage, isn't it? You look at your mortgage, you pay about 4 times what your house is worth over the life of your 30-year mortgage. I
looked, borrow £300,000 over 30 years, and your interest is like 290 grand, 290 grand at the moment. You buy a house for 300 grand, it's costing you 6. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to.
Thing is, if you keep it for 30 years, you could look at it another way. If you keep it for 30 years, it's going to be worth 600 grand anyway, isn't it? So
exactly.
You know, it's kind of.
But if you can put yourself in a position where you can pay that mortgage off in 15 to 20 years, you're going to save a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah. One regret I made, actually, to be fair, when my missus got our house 10 years ago, our mortgage was nothing, absolutely nothing, peanuts. We were like, oh yeah, we'll have that. What we'll do is we'll pay them the bare minimum and we'll just have a really nice life.
Yeah.
Why did we do that?
Yeah. Well, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Instead of paying £750 a month, we should have paid £1,500 a month because we could afford it.
Yeah.
And it would have ripped our mortgage to pieces in 20 years, 30 years, you know? Like, we'd have had hardly anything to pay, but you don't think like that. And you're going back to the 20s, you don't think like that. I mean, I wasn't 20, I was in my 30s, but still very naive in my 30s, so.
Yeah, but you want the things, do you know what I mean? You want the life. You're like, well, I could pay an extra £500 off my mortgage this month, or I could go and do that. We could go away for a weekend. We go to Spain. We do this, and you do that because that's what benefits you now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll blame my missus. To be fair, she wanted 3 weddings, so that's where all our money went.
What, to different men or the same?
Yeah, exactly. She got married to Carlos in Spain, to me in our hometown, and then me in another place because we had to get around to the registry office to get married in Spain. But yeah, that's. They do like spending money though, don't they? My wives.
Mine's amazing. I remember our first date.
Oh,
My first
don't
date.
now make me look like a...
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just saying.
I'm counting these times.
I'm just saying. Our first date, we went bowling and then went to a Mackey's.
Nice.
Fucking brilliant. Now, before my missus, I would have been like, I need to take her to a 5-star restaurant, doing this, doing that. And you really get to see who that person actually is if you don't pretend to be someone you're not.
What if she has like chicken nuggets or a cheeseburger? There's a big difference there, isn't there?
As opposed to
still a child or
as
actually
opposed
an adult.
to a filet mignon. But no, it was wicked, mate. I remember it. We went bowling, we had a laugh, then we were hungry. So we had to drive an hour to the closest McDonald's that was open. But we spent so much time in the car together and it was like...
Yeah, there's nothing else to do other than talk when you're in the car either, is there?
No, that's it. It's good. And that's why the podcast in the car I thought was quite good.
I took my missus to the pub that I used to work at so I could get free drinks. That was my first date. She thought I was amazing. We got absolutely steaming. It cost me nothing.
Oh,
and we had the table by the fire as well, which is really romantic because I obviously told them to give me that table.
Well, let's go back to what you said about the shit they don't tell you. Midlife crisis. Is it real?
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Yeah. I never thought. When people used to
100%.
mention it, and they're like, oh, you have a midlife crisis one day. What the fuck is it? I reckon my mate had one 10 years ago at fucking 28 because he was so sensible in his years of school and college. He was so sensible. I reckon he had a midlife crisis at fucking 28 years old.
I don't think mine's going to be too bad because I kind of had one in my 30s, early 30s. When I split up with my boy's mum, I just had a couple of years where I was just sort of going out every weekend and just enjoying myself. So I kind of celebrated. I think the midlife crisis is when you get with somebody too early and you don't actually experience life too much. And it's quite a difficult thing to say because obviously there's a lot of people that may be listening that have been with their partners for a long time. I feel like if you don't experience life, if you get together too early and you don't actually get to go through life, experience different things, different people, different partners or whatever, I think when you get to the age of about 40, 45, you probably go, fucking hell, what have I actually done with my life? I haven't travelled.
Yeah.
I haven't been anywhere. I've just worked. And now I am the other side of 40. And let's be honest, the average age is what, 86 or something? Is it not even that? Is it something like that? So you are nearer to the end. I hate saying that because it feels so depressing.
Yeah, but it's true.
You are nearer to the end than to the start. And I think that's why people go, fucking hell, what have I done? And then that's why they start deep thinking, oh my God, like I haven't done this, I haven't done that, I want to do this, I want to go travelling. I think that's why a lot of people split up, you know?
Yeah.
Because they get to that point and they go, actually, I need to do this, I need to do that, I can't do it with this person because we got kids, or I can't do it with this person because they won't let me. And that's why relationships split up, and that's what that midlife crisis is all about, and they go out and buy the orange Ford Focus ST or something like that, you know, like, sorry anyone that's got a Ford Focus ST, orange colour, but yeah, you know, like, and I think that's where I am in a comfortable place with my missus because I lived my life. I've made, so we talk about regrets. We spoke about regrets, didn't we? One of the ones we did. I don't have any regrets in life. No. The only regret I have in my life is not getting on an aeroplane with Steve Parish, who's the Palace chairman, Crystal Palace chairman. And that is my wife's fault. So if you're listening, darling, that is the only regret I have. I'm looking at the microphone. That's you there. And that is the only regret I have because everything else that you do throughout life just teaches you to be a better person.
Yeah.
And the people that have regrets don't have regrets. What's the point? You don't live for yesterday, live for today.
Yeah, live for today and look for the future. Live for today and look for the future. That's it. Like, I learned so much. Before I met my wife, I met someone who had a lovely little boy. He was 4 years old. And unfortunately, me and her just didn't get on. It just wasn't for me. But I feel that was life testing me to meet my missus who had a 4-year-old child. Could I be a father to someone else's kid? And that was teaching me, yes, it could. And like, I remember sitting in a car park and my missus said, no, come on, you go and live your life. And I'm so glad that I didn't. I've lived a life before I met my current wife.
Yeah.
I've lived a life and I've made some mistakes and I've got, not regrets, like you say, I've acted like a dickhead. I've done things that I'm not proud to admit, But it's all learning lessons.
it
And I
is.
think if you learn from those things...
Yeah, as long as you learn from those so-called mistakes,
Yeah.
it's fine, isn't it?
But it's the same in business, isn't it?
Of course it is.
You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
I learned from closing down a family business a hell of a lot. I've learned from working in businesses a hell of a lot. And every day is a school day. And I don't think you can be...
Listen, that's why when you drive past the pub that you drove past 25 years ago, the people are still in that pub.
Yeah.
They're still outside drinking on a Friday afternoon because they don't learn from their mistakes. You know, like they don't want to progress in life. And the only way you progress is by making mistakes and learning from them. Yeah. If you make mistakes every week and you just think, oh, well, I'll carry on as I am, you're just going to carry on being that same person, aren't you?
Someone said the only way to break away from the mould, today in a group I was in, the only way to break away from the mould is to be what's the fucking word? Extraordinary. Not extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Kind of same. They sound the same, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do. That fucking hell, it's blown my mind. A couple of pints and I'm like, 1 pint, sorry. 1 pint and it's blown my mind. But that's, and again, like that story I told you in that group today where someone's been working at a company since they were 16. They're now 57. They can't retire for another 10 years and they're counting down the days till they retire at that company they started out at 16. That life's not for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, the issue that we sort of, the problem we've got is, right, the way we go on about business and everything, we kind of, we feel like we're preaching something here. It's important to mention that if you're happy with that life,
yeah. 100%.
then be happy with that life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people are just happy to go to work for a boss, be told what to do, work 8 till 5 or 8 till 4, whatever, and go home and just have no stress whatsoever. Because it isn't, is it? As long as you're earning money enough to pay for your bills and everything, you can go home from work, you can forget about your day-to-day life and just enjoy the evening with your wife or your kids or on your own or whatever you choose to do. But like, I think it's quite important to mention because I know we talk about business a lot and I know we talk about mental health and stuff, and people may jump onto the podcast and think, well, actually, then they're not talking to me because I work for somebody and I'm not interested in being an entrepreneur or blah, blah, blah.
No, and I think, like, I used to work... when I was 17, I used to work at Sainsbury's in Hayteeth.
My first job as well.
Yeah, I used to work in Sainsbury's on the back door. Used to work on the back door, seeing the lorries in, unloading the lorries.
I so wanted to go for a joke there, but...
working on the back door. And the guy I worked with had been doing the same job since the Sainsbury's opened, which was a hell of a long time. And he loved it. He wouldn't change it for the world. And he was a lovely bloke. Yeah. And he was happy. He knew his hours. He knew what he had to do. He knew what he was getting paid at the end of the month. There was another guy there. He was, I'm going to say he was in his early 60s. He had a heart attack in the warehouse. The ambulance come, took him away. Next day, he was back there. And he loved it. And he wouldn't change it for the world. So I'm not. And this is what fucks me off about all these people on TikTok and that saying, quit your job and be an entrepreneur. It's not for everyone.
Well, that's why we called the Untold Podcast, isn't it? Because we say how it is. You know?
It's not for everyone. I've said it before. I own a business. I've got staff. Every month comes round and I've got to pay the staff. It's like having kids that have worked their arse off for you and you can't give them their pocket money.
Yeah.
I know it's not pocket money, that takes the piss out of the staff, but you can't give them their wages.
That's right, they won't edit it. They won't hear this until they edit it.
Yeah, exactly. Whether they actually listen to it. But it's a lot to be said about going on holiday. I've said this before, I've said it in videos on my personal page. Going on holiday, turning your work phone off and enjoying 2 weeks with your family. I can't do that.
No, I can't.
I can't go on holiday and not have to do some sort of work, answer some sort of emails. And I don't think even if you're really successful, I don't think you ever switch off when you're an entrepreneur.
Well, you can't do. If you're mega successful, your brain is ticking more than anybody else's brain ever, and anyway, because that's why you're so successful, because your brain doesn't stop.
It's mad though, isn't it? It's mad. Something else they never told you, that while your brain will wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and think, I know you suffer with this because you told me the other day. I suffer with this. Like, literally, the most random shit. My missus is funny. She has weird dreams in the night. Like, people chasing her and all sorts. Do you get that thing when you fall asleep where you're like falling.
You jump.
Yeah, and you jump.
Yeah. You know, that is actually a scientific thing, though.
Is it?
So that is actually your body. Your body falls asleep before your brain, and your brain thinks your body is dying. So it jolts your body. It actually sends an electrical current into your body to make sure that you're actually still alive, or the other way around, one of the two. But that is actually so. Wow. I dealt with that very, very badly years and years ago, really badly, to the point where like I nearly broke my foot because I kicked the wall so hard. So I thought I'd do a bit of research on it, and genuinely that is actually a thing. Your body or your brain thinks one or the other is actually dying, and it sends an electrical current. So it's obviously your brain to your body, because obviously your brain controls your electrical currents. But yeah, it is actually an electric shot to your body to make sure you're still alive.
Really? It's mad that. But they did. No one ever told you. No one ever prepared
Science
you.
with Chris.
Science with
Never
Chris.
thought I'd be doing science on the podcast.
But no one did it, did they? And this is something that I feel that they should warn you for.
Yeah.
When you get into later life and you have a business, you have a family, you have a mortgage to pay, you have bills to pay, they're going to haunt you 24 hours a day. How the fuck do you deal with it? How do you... I know for a fact, I don't want to put you on the spot here, don't want to go too deep. Me and Des went balls deep the other day.
Des does like it like that, doesn't he?
He even said that he wanted to put the balls in. How do you deal with that? Okay, so we got an example here. You've just decided to sack in your comfort blanket, your job that you've done for however many years, to focus on TikTok Shop. What the fuck's been going through your head for the last couple of weeks?
Last couple of weeks, to be honest, it's not the financial side of things. It's the responsibilities as a human being that I've been struggling with. It's there's one guy that works for me, Henry, his name is, I'll call him out. He's worked for me for 5 years. He's a fucking legend. Always on time, always turns up, always does what he says he's going to do. Yes, he's a bit fucking slow and a bit useless.
Sorry, Henry.
He knows. He won't listen to this anyway.
No.
But it means a lot to me. It does mean a lot to me, and I'd like to think that I'm the kind of person that does care about people a little bit too much. And it was important for me that I didn't just say, "There's no work for you now. You haven't got a job. Goodbye." He's just got his own gaff with his missus and everything. So I spoke to a mate of mine yesterday, and he's now going to go and work for him. But that was my main worry. My main worry was that conversation that I was going to have with him. It was the conversation I was going to have with my client, because it was a thing. Like, I've worked for this client for 10 years and they have paid me very well. They paid for all of my weddings. You know, like, it's something that I've had there as a fail-safe constantly for the last 10 years. That's been my main stress.
Yeah.
You know, I went live on TikTok last night until 11 o'clock. I went to bed at about midnight last night. Fell asleep about 1 o'clock. That wasn't because I was thinking about anything. It's because I had all the bright lights and the cameras and everything in my face. I slept like a baby.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a different stress, and that's the stress that's been dealing with. Don't get me wrong, in a couple of weeks' time when I'm not working on site and I'm working TikTok full time and I go live and I only make a bit of money that I didn't expect to make, I expected to make more, that's when I'll lay there that night going, fucking hell. Right, so if I do that every night for the next 3 weeks, how am I going to pay my mortgage?
Yeah.
You know, like, so you do get different stresses, but the best way to deal with them is to talk to people.
Yeah. It is. And face them head on.
Yeah. If you're in debt, and let's face it, probably 90% of the country is in debt right now, probably even higher than that, isn't it, to be fair?
I would have said.
If you're in debt, if you can't pay your debts, speak to the debt company, because whatever anybody thinks, these debt companies ain't out to kill you.
No.
You know, if you ring them up and can't pay your debt, they will help you out. I don't care what company it is. They're not there to absolutely destroy. The only time you need to get a bailiff on your front door is if you've ignored the fuck out of it.
Yeah. And that's it. Or if you think you can beat the system, which is me sometimes, because I think it's unright. I don't fuck knows. I think it's morally wrong what some of the people do, like council tax, for example. But
I live on a private estate, mate, not private estate because it's a new build and you pay your fees to live there, and we have to pay full council tax, £240 a month I pay, and they don't even deal with the streets lights, they don't fix the roads, they don't fix the drains, they don't fix anything. All I pay for is basically the bins to be collected. It costs me £240 a month.
It's mad, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? It's a joke.
Fucking
but
mad.
I also have to pay about £600 a year to the management company.
Yeah. And this is it, but you don't bury your head in the sand when it comes to shit like that. And a lot of my problems over the years have been with money. Always been everything that wakes me up at 4 a.m. has been money.
Yeah.
Money related. And now it's changing. Like now it's like I've moved on from money because I've dealt with that.
Is that only because you've lived beyond your means? Is that why you've been worrying?
No, it was the business thing.
Right.
The business was living beyond its means. The rent increased, everything increased, the sales dropped, everything. And when you've got a business where the overheads are probably 25, 30 grand a month, and retail's dying a death and exchange rates are going in the wrong direction, transport's getting more expensive. It was a lot. So I managed to deal with that by getting rid of that.
Adapt.
But now, my brain, the other morning, my parents just moved to Spain, yeah? And my mum's got a dog. Took the dog with them. I woke up fucking 4 o'clock in the morning wondering what they're going to do with the dog when they come back from my brother's wedding. Like, the fuck,
Maybe
man?
just like worrying, mate. Once you get wired in, I actually think that's a thing. So I think once you start worrying throughout your whole life, I think you get addicted to worrying.
Yeah, and that's like my old man said to me. He used to say to me, he said, never be like me. And when I was a kid, I was like, what? You're amazing. You're a fucking legend. You've done this. You're a good dad. You're a good husband. You've provided for us all the years. You're a nice friend. You've done everything you possibly can for everybody else. And I think what he was saying was, don't ever be like me. Don't ever be negative. Don't ever be a worrier. Because he used to be, and that's where I get a lot of it from, I think. Like, I worry about shit that I don't need to fucking worry about, but not during the day. At 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to get a good night's
When nothing's
sleep.
going on, isn't it? It's once your brain starts.
That's why I've been taking
to yourself,
ashwagandha.
Oh, good. Yes, got some of that
I've
for
been
sale if
taking
you like. Yeah.
ashwagandha. But what about you? Your brain, like, it goes mad. I know it does.
Yeah, I'm an overthinker, massive overthinker, mate. Really, really bad overthinker. I'm trying to deal with that right now, but it's very, very difficult when you've done it for pretty much the whole life. But it's good as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love it as well as hate it. Like I hate it more than I love it, but I love it so much because you can find out so much about people without even them realising you know anything about them. Because you watch their body language, you watch the way they talk to you, you watch how much eye contact they give you, you listen to voice notes, you look at text messages, you literally everything that goes on, you are analysing everything. And 99.9% of the time, I'm 100% right.
Yeah, yeah. I've always said my superpower is being a great judge of character.
Same kind of thing.
Being able to judge people out. Not judge people, but...
You can,
like,
if anybody's watching this on YouTube, you can see me and Ash now looking at each other in each other's eyes, seeing if we can actually gauge anything from each other. I did it at the pub earlier on, so don't worry. I've got his cards numbered.
And I did it before I signed a contract with a cunt.
Yeah, you did as well, yeah.
So, yeah. But on that note, Chris, one bit of advice you would give to your 25-year-old self.
Don't get married in your early 20s.
I thought you were going to say don't get married. Don't get married.
No, probably just fucking enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't try and fall in love. Don't try and have a family. Don't try and do anything other than just have fun. And if that's your fun, but it's up to you. But 20s, just go out there and just enjoy it,
man.
Enjoy it.
Travel. If someone gives you the opportunity to
100%.
go and travel.
Actually, I said I don't have any regrets. That's the one regret I do have. Actually, is that I haven't travelled. I'd love to. I'd love to go to Thailand. So if there's anybody watching that like lives in Thailand, they've got a nice 5-6 bedroom villa that we could go and do the podcast from, we'd be more than happy to go and do it out
and
there.
that's the one thing for me that I've said was travel.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's in the 10-year plan to travel.
Yeah.
I'll do it with my wife, my best friend, my soulmate.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it. Anyway, Chris, that's been...
I'm going to get a bucket in a minute and throw
beautiful.
out. That was a bit fucking sickening, wasn't it? Jesus
Yeah, but
Christ.
it's true though, isn't it?
I love you too, darling. Yeah, you're my best friend too. No, she actually is. I shouldn't laugh at that. But
Listen, they support us in doing
exactly,
this.
yeah.
They support us in doing this. Anyway, Chris, that was blinding. I
Yeah,
think.
it was all right, wasn't it?
enjoyed
Yes,
that.
we'll have to have a beer before the next one as well, actually.
We'll have to have a beer now. We'll go to the pub quick.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
If you watched, thank you very much. If you listened, thank you very much. We need your support. Like it, share it, feed it. We're looking for sponsors to help us go to the next level. We're looking for guests. So if you've got an interesting story that you want to tell, come and sit in this chair because I don't know when Des is coming back from Manchester. So come and sit in this chair and tell us all about your story. Maybe it can help someone out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Cheers,
Peace.
guys. Take care.